In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how you should manage your Facebook ads budget. So there's a whole range of ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you what the most easiest ways you can use. You can basically use this as a guide and run it off of this. Alright, so I'll also show you at the end of this video some ways you can scale it. So if you do get to a point where you need to go and start to increase your business, basically scale it bigger and getting more salespeople in and so on, I'll show you how to do that as well. Really simple principles. Okay, first let's take a look at the low end. How are you going to run your ads in the low end if you have a small type of budget? So before we're going to jump into this, I want to quickly tell you what days we run ads at Vessel Media. So this is going to totally depend on the business you have. If you have a business that is more, I want to say, on the entertainment side, you are probably going to be running ads on weekends. It's going to work good for you. If you have a restaurant running a burger special or something like that, it's going to work good for you to run ads over the weekends. Any other type of business that I want to say entertainment wise or so works really well over the weekends. If you are a more professional type service, that is not, I want to say, an emergency type service, like a lot of times plumbers can run emergency type ads over weekends. So if a pipe bursts somewhere, someone sees it and immediately they can call them and they can do like a call out and they can charge a bit more for that. So you can also take a look at that type of stuff. But while we run ads for most of our clients at Vessel Media and for ourselves, we put our ads on at the Monday, usually at around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we run it to a Friday, and then on a Friday at 12 o'clock we switch off all our ads and our clients' ads as well. So we basically just run around 4 full days and maybe 1.5 a day. We'll take a look usually on a Friday what it looks like. If we are getting a massive influx of, let's say, leads or sales, we'll usually let our ads go a little bit longer. Or if we see by, let's say, 10 o'clock on a Friday that it's quite dead, we will usually just switch it off a bit earlier. So Fridays are a bit up and down. You guys will see if you start to do this, how it works. But usually a Monday to a Tuesday, after a Thursday, Monday to Thursday, it's going to be the best days to basically run your ads. All right. So let's quickly take a quick look at the lower end. So the lower end is going to be for your typical local based business. So if you are a hair salon, a nail salon, doing, I want to say, weight loss type stuff, you are a personal trainer, those type of businesses, you are going to fall into this category. It's going to work really good for you. So usually it's going to be, if you are running 150 Rand a day ads, you are going to be a local business doing B2C. So you're going to be a business selling to a consumer. You're not going to be selling to another business. Usually what we've seen is the ad spend is a bit too low to go and sign up, for example, big accounting clients if you're an accounting firm. But if you are, for example, as I said, a nail salon, a personal trainer, stuff like that, anything that sells directly to a consumer is going to be a good way to look at it. So it's going to be basically a local ad that you are going to run. All right. Then you are going to have smaller based budgets that's going to be around 250 Rand. So if you are around 250 Rand, so then you are going to be a business to consumer business that is going to be having a bit more of reach. So you are going to see a lot better results if you scale from 150 to 250. I usually recommend just jumping straight into 250 if it's possible for your business. You usually see really good results from that. All right, if you are a B2B service that also just operates locally, you can start looking at running ads around 250 Rand per day. That's going to be the sub minimum if you are a business to business seller that you are going to be running ads. I would not recommend that you think you are going to make $1 million off that. It's not going to be how it works. So you need to know what your cost is going to be per client and so on if you're doing business to business, and basically just factor in that as well. But it is totally possible for you to, let's say, for example, you are an accounting firm, to get to at least one, maybe if you're lucky, two sign-ups on this budget for, let's say, a 3,000 to 5,000 Rand client a month. You can maybe get one of those clients in a local area if you are doing these type of ads on those low budgets. All right. Okay, so low budget are strictly local. So with local, what do I mean? It's going to be a minimum of 30,000 people in your audience that you can have. So usually, let's say, for example, you are in Johannesburg, you're in the Roodepoort area, and you take, let's say, 25 kilometer radius around your local business. That's going to be local. All right. So you're just running ads close to your business. It is driving distance from you. If it's more than 50 kilometers, or I want to even say go up to 40 kilometers away from you, do not run these type of low budgets. You need to run more budget But as I said, it depends on how many people are around you. If you are very rural towns, so let's say you are 3 or 4 smaller towns close to each other, I know for especially in the Northern Cape this will work. And then let's say you do your Facebook ad setup, you see it's around 40,000 people and you're targeting, let's say 3 towns. It's a bit of a broader base. You do work in more of those areas. You are willing to drive a bit further. Then you can still look at around 250 Rand budget. All right. Always just keep that in mind. But minimum, it needs to be 30,000 people in that audience set. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You need to have some space to keep running your ads at least for 2-3 months before you get them saturated and need to set them up again. All right. So basically low budget is between 150 Rand to 250 Rand. If you do set up your ads, just use 150 or 250. Don't use anything in between. 150 or 250, we've found those points are the best to use in this range. And those are only for local based businesses that are driving distances from if you're running ads for those type of people. All right. Next is going to be basically your medium type budget. So it's going to be, for example, 400 Rand, 600 Rand or 800 Rand. So usually what I would recommend is if you do have the budget to jump into ads with a bit of a backing, start out with 400 Rand a day. You usually get really good results. We've gotten exceptional results with 400 Rand a day when we've run those type of budgets in Vessel Media. It works really good. So what you can then do is 400 Rand a day is enough for you to start branching into local and national type ads. So if you are, for example, I always love to use accounting clients because they can work with anyone. If you are an accounting client that does remote work for businesses, let's say you're in Joburg but you work with Cape Town clients, then you can start looking at 400 Rand a day. That's going to be enough for you to start taking your budget and pushing it out on a national level. So you can still stay local and run 400 Rand a day. You're just going to need a really big audience. So if you're in Joburg, you can maybe get to pull this off, or in the Cape Town area or Durban, you need to be close to a big city. So usually around 150,000 is going to be your medium audience size when you're running these type of budgets. If you run an 800 Rand budget in a 30,000 audience size, you are going to kill that audience. Within days, every single person in your audience is going to see your ad. It's not the best way to do it. Your optimization is going to be off. Your customer acquisition cost is going to be very high. All right. So if you're running these type of budgets, look at 150k audience size plus 150,000 minimum for you to run these type of budgets. I would even say if you get to 600 plus, 150 can even be too small. Try to see if you can go wider with your audience targeting. All right. So as I then said, 400, 600, 800 is a really good place to start out with that. What I would do is start out with 400, get sales consistently, see that you are making a profit, then bump it up to 600 Rand. If you're seeing you're making sales consistently and you are profitable, bump it up to 800 Rand, and so on and so on. Work through the medium budget steps. All right. So 4, 6, 8. Then basically go from there. So let's quickly jump into the high end, which is going to be basically also B2C plus B2B clients, but it's going to be national. If you are running 1,000 Rand plus a day, you need to do national ads if you are running in those type of sizes, because you need a lot of people to be able to see your ads. You can do this locally, for example, if you are in an area where it's highly populated. So if you're doing Joburg and Pretoria, for example, you can maybe pull it off to around 1,000 Rand a day. You will be able to be profitable. Depends on what you're selling, what your service offering is, and so on, naturally. But there's a lot of way you can work with it. But I would usually recommend, let's say, for example, if you take us, we run 1,000 Rand a day plus per day in our ads. So we run national type ads. So we work with anyone in South Africa at any place. So we are able to run that type of ads because our sales process is virtual and we are able to assist anyone in any location. Okay. So I'm going to say high end is 1,000 Rand plus. So just to quickly go over it again, if you are running ads on the lower end of the budget spectrum, make sure you have a minimum of 30,000 people in your audience size. 150 to 250 is going to be a good place for you to jump in. I would highly recommend jumping in at 250 if possible for you. But let's go over to the medium. So medium is can be also for any business, B2C or B2B businesses, business to consumer or business to business businesses. Okay. Medium audience size, 150,000 plus. So I would recommend jumping in at 400 Rand, seeing how it's working. You're going to get enough data from it, and then basically scale up to 800 if you are able to run this type of budgets. Then if it's going really well and you are selling national type products, then you can start to go and jump into the 1,000 a day type ad sets. So let's say, for example, you are making, if you're spending 2,000 Rand, you're making 5,000 Rand back on every single sale that you're making profit wise. You can really jump into those type of ads budgets. It makes sense to then go into those if you are basically having no capped service and operation wise. Alright, so then basically you need to make sure you have a 250k audience size plus minimum to start running 1,000 Rand a day ads on a national level. Alright. Quick thing to also show you guys, I talked about scaling. So let's say, for example, you've run through these and you get to the 1,000 a day and you want to start scaling even more. So a really good practice that we use at Vessel Media is basically increasing our ad set. So basically scaling 20% basically per week. So we scale our ad budgets 20% per week if we are scaling very aggressively. You can do it more aggressively. So let's say, for example, on a Monday you switch on your ads, and by let's say the Wednesday you've run 3,000 Rand and you've made 10,000 Rand back, and you see you are extremely profitable with the thing that you are selling. You can go and increase it 20% every 3 days. So basically on day 4, it's going to be a new budget that's increased by 20%. All right, you can do that if you want to scale aggressive like that. Just be careful. The higher you scale, your customer acquisition cost does go up. So you need to watch your numbers and very carefully. I have seen businesses go bankrupt when doing these type of strategies and they go too fast. Don't scale too fast. Make sure your numbers make sense before going and scaling. Really good way I love to scale is not too fast. So basically on a weekly basis that I can see what's going on. So we would usually scale not more than 2 times a month. We would go up a little bit, and then stop and just see what the data is. So basically running an ad set on the same budget for 2 weeks to see what happens, and then we'll go up. All right, so that's just me. If you are more willing to take on a bigger risk, jump for it, go for it. It does work. We've helped clients to do this. It's totally possible, but your numbers need to make sense. All right, guys, see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video and you grabbed a whole bunch of value from it.